What's this in your back pocket? I just saw you walk.
Introducing a story of injustice and discrimination where a legally blind man was wrongly arrested by law enforcement officers. But this was not an isolated incident.
I just saw you walking it.
It's a navigational age. What's the problem? You a tyrant?
Unfortunately, this was the reality for a legally blind man from Lake City, Florida, who was arrested by a Columbia County deputy and sergeant in 2019.
And her suspicion was that you were armed, okay? And she's asking you for your ID. Well, now she is verified.
The man, who is unable to drive due to his vision impairment, was walking home from a convenience store in Lake City when he was stopped by the Columbia County deputy. The deputy claimed that the man was walking erratically and suspected that he had a gun in his belt.
It looks like you're carrying a gun in your back pocket. I'm stopping to make sure you're carrying it properly. You don't have
you ensured that it's...
The man, who actually had a white cane in his belt to assist him in his travels, tried to explain his situation to the deputy, but was ignored.
A firearm.
No, you keep turning so I can't see it. You don't have to be a to me.
Well, you're being one to me.
The deputy conducted a pat-down search on the man and found no gun. However, he still suspected that the man was under the influence of alcohol and conducted a field sobriety test on him, which the man failed due to his vision impairment. The man was then arrested.
Now she's asking me for ID. I don't need the ID unless there's reasonable articulated suspicion.
And taken to the Columbia County Detention Center, where he was detained for several hours before being released. Despite being innocent, the man suffered humiliation.
All right, let's go.
I want your name and badge number 2.
Stress and a tarnished reputation as a result of the wrongful arrest. He decided to take legal action and filed a lawsuit against the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, the deputy who arrested him, and the sergeant who supervised the arrest. The lawsuit claimed that the deputy did not have probable cause to arrest the man and that his arrest was a violation of his Fourth Amendment rights.
Was that hard?
It's gonna be. I want your name and your badge number. I put him in jail for resisting.
The lawsuit also alleged that the sergeant was aware of the deputy's lack of probable cause, but still approved of the arrest and detention. The case went to court, and after hearing the evidence, the jury ruled in favor of the legally blind man. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office and the 2 officers were found guilty of violating the man's civil rights and were ordered to pay him $100,000 in damages. The incident had lasting effects on the man.
Reasonable articulated suspicion that I have committed a crime and committing a crime or about to.
In addition to the emotional distress caused by the wrongful arrest, he also had to deal with the financial burden of legal fees and lost income due to time off work.
Why aren't you using your stick? You don't have to use your stick all the time? Not all the time.
This incident serves as a reminder of the need for increased education and training for law enforcement officers when it comes to dealing with people with disabilities. It also highlights the importance of holding law enforcement agencies accountable for their actions and ensuring that justice is served for victims of wrongful arrests.
Brian, please don't kick me. That's all I'm gonna ask.
In this video, we'll be talking about a shocking incident involving a law enforcement officer who was arrested for super drunk driving.
This thing already.
No, I'm not. I just want you to let me go.
I can't.
Yes, you can.
No.
This case raises serious questions about the culture within law enforcement and the actions taken by its leaders in response to such incidents. Stick around to find out more about this case and the consequences the officer faced for his actions.
Okay. Yes or no? We're gonna do field sobriety.
No, just let me. Oh my gosh.
I take that as a no.
The police are supposed to uphold the law, not break it. However, as we know, even law enforcement officials are not above the law.
Just be a...
Clear. Out of this vehicle now.
No, be
out of this vehicle
no,
now.
Don't touch.
In a shocking incident that took place on November 13th, 2016, Lieutenant Brian Filipiak of the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office was arrested on suspicion of super drunk driving in northern Michigan's Montmorency County.
Let's step out.
No,
you know this. Out of this vehicle.
No.
Out of this vehicle. You are
No.
resisting an officer.
No.
It was a Sunday evening, and Lieutenant Filipiak had been out hunting with a friend. He had been drinking and was driving his personal vehicle.
Can I see your license, registration, proof of insurance?
when he was pulled over by the Montmorency County Sheriff's Office for a traffic violation. Upon smelling alcohol on his breath and observing his erratic driving, the officers administered a breathalyzer test, which revealed that his blood alcohol content.
Horrible, but I'm not going to resist.
I didn't resist.
We forcefully out to you out of
BAC was more than twice the legal limit of 0.08%. Lieutenant Filipiak was charged with operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, OWI.
Come on.
Come on. Okay, stop.
You're
Stop.
under. You're not
No,
going to.
I'm not resisting, but don't.
And super drunk driving, which is a more severe offense in Michigan. He was taken into custody and booked at the Montmorency County Jail. His arrest was a shocking blow to the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office.
You're sitting down. You're sitting down in my car.
Let's talk about it, bud.
As Lieutenant Filipiak was a 20-year veteran of the department and had risen to the rank of lieutenant, the incident raised serious questions about the culture within the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office and the actions taken by its leaders in response to such incidents.
I would hang out on the
Have
side
a
of
seat.
the road,
Brian.
and I would go to.
Have a seat.
I understand. I mean, I'm going to try. I mean, we're trying to work with you here.
Today, we delve into the case of a Tennessee man who impersonated a sheriff's deputy and the consequences he faced for his dangerous actions. Stay tuned for an eye-opening look at this bizarre incident and others like it that have made headlines around the world. The idea of an imposter posing as a law enforcement officer is unsettling, to say the least.
You have the ability to bond out financially.
Well, tomorrow, Monday, so we'll be that court.
Possibly.
But that's precisely what happened in Oklahoma when Jackson Jones, a 19-year-old Tennessee native, decided to impersonate a sheriff's deputy and pull over unsuspecting drivers.
You're not a sheriff. You may work for the sheriff's office, but you work in a jail, and you're not commissioned outside of the jail.
The incident took place in January, when Jones was reportedly dressed in full police gear, including a vest that read sheriff. He even had handcuffs, knives, and a flashlight on a tactical duty belt, which he used to intimidate his victims during the traffic stops.
Okay, I got out of the car. There's a truck that he looked at me. That's all I did. I never.
Witnesses later told police that Jones was acting as if he were on duty, grilling them with questions and generally behaving in an aggressive manner.
And then he told me he had let me go because he got a call. That's why he let me go out of Sonic.
It didn't take long for the authorities to catch up with Jones, who was arrested and charged with impersonating an officer and transporting an open container.
You're under arrest for impersonating law enforcement, all right? And then you also have a charge.
The latter charge stemmed from the fact that he had been carrying a beer in his vehicle at the time of his arrest. After being taken into custody, Jones faced serious consequences for his actions.
Oh, that's fine.
No lights, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the cash can go with me.
All right.
Additionally, he faced a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a $5,000 fine for the impersonation charge alone.
Car. You want to leave it in the car?
The judge who presided over his case noted that Jones had demonstrated a lack of judgment in his actions and urged him to use his probationary period to learn from his mistakes and become a productive member of society.